enlightening session, and you get quite a lot from it. The host, we have Dr. Taiwo Shogade, who will be giving us a lovely talk this evening. A few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, if you could please put them in the chat. We'll have a question and answer session, and hopefully we'll be able to go through as many as we can. I would now introduce Dr. Taiwo, who is, as you know, she graduated from IFE in 2005. She undertook her specialist training at University of OAU Teaching Hospital and other reputable centers in Nigeria. In 2016, she became fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. And in 2017, she was appointed a consultant cardiologist in UUTH, Nigeria. She is an expert in prevention, assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of cardiovascular diseases, with a special interest in hypertension, also in heart failure, valvulopathy, cardiomyopathy, arrhythmia, and health economics. She has published in peer-reviewed journals, presented in national and international conferences, and regularly reviews for scientific journals. She is a member of the Nigerian Cardiac Society, European Society of Cardiology, Heart Rhythm Society, and African Heart Rhythm Association. She is also a trustee of Gilead Heart Foundation, where she is involved in carrying out medical outreaches and health talks among the indigents and on social media. So I welcome Dr. Taiwo, and I will be handing over to you now for your session. Thank you, Taiwo.
Amaka, how are you? Thanks for the introduction. You are really swelling my head. Well, I thank everybody for their presence today, and I'm very elated and happy to be called upon to have this call. I'm not just going to talk, we are going to have a discussion, and I believe at the end of today, we have one or two things learned, both the speaker and the listener. The title for today's talk is multitasking. Is it a myth or a reality? Is it a fallacy or is it achievable? Multitasking is what we all do, just that we might not really take cognizance of it, maybe in formal or informal way. And multitasking can be defined as an art or an ability for a person or even a thing, it could be a computer, to undergo more than one task at a time. It permits me to be a bit gender biased. Multitasking is usually not a new thing to most females. From their childhood, they have always been introduced to multitasking, because even when you have 3 kids in the house and the firstborn is a child, it's a male, by the time the mother is going out, it's likely to put the general running of the house in the hands of the first female. Take care of your sister, cook this, make sure the house is clean. You can as well tell the boy, don't go out to play. If you have to go and play, make sure you come back before this time. So I can say that informally, female gender has always been exposed to multitasking. But the point we are trying to make tonight is that we should take that multitasking to a higher level that can even make earn income for us, or even make us to impact the humanity at large. Well, there are several scenarios whereby people can multitask. I want to grade it down to formal and informal way, starting from the female gender. Whether you are single or you are married, right from childhood, you have always been exposed to multitasking. You are likely to be the one called upon by your parents to take care of the little one and cook and make sure that the house is tidy before they come back. At the same time, you are also expected to carry out your academic activity, either doing your own work or reading for exam. The same thing goes for when you are in undergraduate. I want us to be a bit realistic here. It's the female gender that will also be involved in having boyfriend that you want to cook for. Some will cook for their boyfriend. There's nothing bad in that if you are able to multitask that and also accomplish your primary purpose while you're an undergraduate. So I'm not saying that the male folk also don't multitask. They multitask. Some are into other extracurriculum activities apart from their education, whether in the university or even in the secondary school. But this art is something we should learn to develop to make conscious effort developing it so that we can use it to earn other income and also use it to impact the generation as a whole. There are examples of my colleagues that I can mention even among us when we were undergraduate that have shown practical example of multitasking. Example, permit me to mention Taiwo. We call her social doctor. She was a very cerebral, brilliant undergraduate student of medicine, but she also diversified into a lot of things, making all these accessory. At least I can remember I bought one accessory from her. She does a lot of things. There are also some of our colleagues that are into politics, even though it might not be into the large scale, the student union policy, but they were able to come out and bid for one post or the other, and not at the detriment of the academic. So the example abounds, but I want to tell our undergraduates now that the opportunity is much more wider for them. They have opportunity to key into. I remember as an house officer, just one night I was, and a lot of people always tell me then, I guess I was slimmer and I had the height. Tell me how you can model, but it never even occurred to me to model for 1 second. Why will I model as a student, medical student? Where will you get the time? But now, retrospectively, I know that is one thing maybe I should have looked into. And I didn't, now I don't think it would have affected me that much. I will see most likely pass when I graduated from the school. So multitasking is something that we are all doing in a way, but we should make more conscious effort to do it in a way that will affect us more positively. Let me go now into the formal sectors. A lecturer, a clinical lecturer that don't want to think in the academic terrain, that want to swim and become a professor, we surely have to multitask. You have to multitask in your family setting and also in the clinical setting, because most clinical lecturers are already doctors. They have their patients to take care of. They also have research sheets to do. They have to undergo research sheets and write papers. In the process, they also have students to lecture and mentor. They have to mentor a resident doctor where they are carrying out their own research to also present to become a consultant. So you can see in a way we are already multitasking, but I want us to think out of the box. We can still multitask, you can still flare, because any medical student, we are at least 10% of when we are talking about people with higher intelligence quotient, we are at least above the first 10%. So we can exert ourselves more and multitask more in a way that will be more productive to us. I don't know if you have many other students here with us. There are so many ways we can multitask. But one thing I want us to identify is that multitasking is one of the ingredients for success. There's no success. Show me any successful man. I will show you a man or a woman that has really developed the skills of multitasking. The example above, some of them are good family man, they have their father, they are good husband, and they are also able to be successful in whatever career they choose. So to be successful in life, multitasking is one of the ingredients that is necessary. And what does multitasking really entail? Now let's go. It just means ability to carry on more than one project at the same time. Ability to, I don't want to stress not the issue. I don't want to stress. No, I don't want to bother myself. I want to take life easy. And you are excited about it. It's not like you are stressed. Oh, my boss is giving me too much tasks. Am I the only one? What is going on? You are ability to be excited in carrying out more than one task at the same time. The style can be in the same direction and can be dynamic. You are contesting for the post in the political terrain. but you are still carrying out remarkably well your duty as a father. You are still carrying out your remarkably well your duty as a husband in the house. None is falling apart. You are still able to cater for your patient well, and you are excited about it. That is what multitasking is all about. And I want to encourage us. I want, especially doctor, we always feel that we don't want to go into politics. Politics is not for us, but we can multitask. We can multitask, achieve all what we are doing, and also wedge into the political terrain and impact our humanity. Because when we all sit back and we just complain, nothing might not really change until we also move out and also give into the society what all the experience that we have. Then the next thing about multitasking that you have a very high attention to detail and ability to be able to shift your attention spontaneously from one project to another without losing what you are doing, at what stage you are at a particular project. Oh, I'm writing a proposal for a grant, and I still have to write my lecture for my student. As well, I also have to read the dissertation of my resident that is going for exam. You are able to shift. Oh, I've written it up to this level there. Okay, let me go ahead and read. And also be able to prioritize on those projects. Which one is the most important? Oh, I have to give the lecture tomorrow, then I need this night to concentrate more on that. Oh, my resident will be going for exam, then I need to take the weekend to do that. It's ability to consciously shift from one project to another without losing control over that project. Even though you have shifted your attention momentarily, temporarily from that project, you are still able to know what is going on, at what stage you are. You are not scattered, you are not distracted. Multitasking is not the same thing as somebody that is distracted. Oh, I have this, I cannot even remember what he's doing. You are not distracted. Even though you are shifting from one project to another, you are not distracted. You are still on top of all those projects as you are going spontaneously. And so what are the steps that we need to take? What are the things that can help? I know we are all, that's why this is just to help us to open our eyes to the fact that we are already multitasking, but can we use this multitasking to achieve more in our life, in our own personal life, and also in affecting the humanity? How can you, it's by having a detail of what you are doing part time. You want to write down what am I into now this month, what are the things, projects in my hand. Not that, oh, I've forgotten, oh, I'm supposed to read, the resident just called in the night, madam, please, what about, no, you're on top of all those things you are doing. You are not distracted, you are not overwhelmed, you are not stressed up, but you are excited. You are excited doing those things that, oh, yes, I'll finish this project, you tick it up. And then we know about the endorphin hormone will be built up in your body, which are also beneficial. It's different from being distracted, being overwhelmed, and then you have the negative hormones that will also be built up, which are also detrimental. The process of having a positive impact from multitasking means you are consciously knowing what you are doing at each point in time. You can have a note, you can have it on whatever electronic device or on your written jotter, and you are excited doing them, and you're able to shift your attention from one project to another without losing focus on what point you are in each of the projects you are involved in spontaneously. Multitasking is very good. I wish every one of us to key into it. In as much as I know this is a group of doctors, we are all professional, but we can still use multitasking to think out of the box and also engage in other things that can bring in additional income for us. And not only that, can also use it to impact our world
Hi, everyone. It looks like we've lost Dr. Taiwo there for a few minutes. I would look at some questions that we have so far. So we have one question. I think this is for when she talked about having negative stressor along the way. So we'll come back. Yeah. So we'll come back and in a few minutes while she gets on. I think so far it's been quite enlightening, talking about the different steps and what practical things we can do in our day-to-day lives in terms of using our electronic diaries on our devices, and how important multitasking is, not just as doctors, but having extra income as well. It's possible. And we have had a couple of our colleagues, as she mentioned Taiwo. And there are quite a number of people who are not just doctors, but who also do a lot of things on the side. So hopefully she will join us soon. While we're waiting, if we have any more questions, this will be a good time to put them in the chat box so we can take note and answer them when she returns.
I think she's just come back in.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back. We can hear you now.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, I don't know what happened. I think the network just went off. I'm using another device and I don't know if you can see. Can you see my face?
No, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
You can hear, okay.
Okay, we can see a screen, but it's upside down. It might be that the, okay. Yes, we're just seeing your laptop now.
I think I should just continue like that until I can get from my laptop. I'm not able to use the video on this phone. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That was why I decided to use my laptop, but the network there is frustrating.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I think we'll just go ahead. We already have a question for you, so we have some questions that would need to be answered at the end. Yeah. Okay.
Question. Can you read the question?
No,
please?
so I think we'll just take the questions. If you just kindly continue, we'll take the questions at the end. We have one already, so we'll just take that one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I don't know where the network went off, but like I was trying to say, what the main cross for this meeting is that we are all already multitasking, but we should try and think out of the box and see how we can use this multitasking skill, improve on it, and be able to help ourselves with it in the form of maybe getting extra income, and also not necessarily getting extra income alone, but also affecting humanity. We can look in, like what we are doing now is part of multitasking. This is out of our professional work or out of our more commitment to our family, but we also want to impact the next generation coming. And there are also other, especially people that are they know they are social influencers, they can influence people and they feel they have the leadership quality to engage in the politics of our day. They should also think out of this box. You can still be a professional, you can still be a medical doctor, practicing your profession and also impact the society political wise. The same thing also goes for, I know some of us have fled for other things. Some are fled for fashion, but they have not really developed it because of the stereotypical way of thinking that have been imbibed into all that, oh, as a medical student, you cannot have time for all those things. But those are all fallacies, they are all lies. It's just that we were conditioned to think that as a medical student, you cannot cope with other things. But in sincerity, if you learn to plan your time very well, because we are all people, at least 10% people that are highly cerebral. Learn to plan yourself very well. You can improve on all those talents. They are hidden talents. But we all know, oh, I have a flair for designing. I have flair for interior decoration. I have flair for this, for writing. Some are content writers. We can also improve on all those things. And it will also help us in a way. So multitasking is something that can be used to benefit us. And also for the undergraduate, they should not continue in that mindset that you're a medical student, you cannot involve in the politics of the day. You're a medical student, you cannot have an additional income. You cannot have an additional source of income. You can do it, and you can do it well. You can even come out with good grades. It's just to improve on your time management skill. You want to multitask and be able to improve on yourself, on your other talent, your inbuilt talent, because talents are just abilities, God-given ability, but you need to improve on it before it can become something new that you can make something out of it. So just like I mentioned, some of our colleagues that were able to do that, they did that in school. They were just the outliers out of all. They are the few people that actually thought out of the box, and they did something. And on the long run, they also graduated well with her. So there is that stereotypical way of thinking that medical student you cannot do. The only thing you can do is to read till the end of the world. It's nothing but falsehood, especially now with the help of internet. We have everything. You can access any information you want. You can learn anything you want. So you are very good in writing. You can become a content writer. You are very good in designing clothes. You can start designing. In fact, you can even start designing clothes for fashion design, for tailors, and you are good at. I know I have one of my medical students now that can create shoes. In fact, I was so shocked when she showed me pictures of that shoe that she had made. I said, "You made this?" Yes, that's what she does anytime we are on holiday. I was so shocked. And to me, she's still among the best so far that I've come across. So it is nothing that is beyond us. We shouldn't allow those stereotypical way of thinking to be clouded or to limit us, because in sincerely speaking, it has really limited us as medical students. And I want us to be the messenger for that. You have a student, don't just, during the holiday, the only thing you do is read and read till eternity. You can use that time and add part of multitasking. Hello, Amaka.
Hello, I'm here, Taiwo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Very
hear you.
clearly.
You're still on. We can hear you clearly.
Yeah. One thing I want to emphasize about multitasking is socializing with other non-medical students. It's very, very important. In fact, if I have my way, it should be a course to teach students to shift medicine. We are so narrow-minded. Majority, I'm sorry to use we, not I know not every one of us or of them now that are students, but we are so narrowed in our way of thinking because we just socialize among ourselves. Very little opportunity to socialize with other non-medical students. It is important because that is in a way that limits the way we think and the way we can see what is going on now. We are not able to really fight for our rights. Things will have happened before we now start reacting to them. But I don't mean we have had this social relationship, how to manage emotion, how to even foresee difficulties and solve them before they even arrive. Those are all those things that we were not really taught, and we didn't really have time to experience such circumstances when we were students and learn from them. Other students really have time to experience disappointment, limitations, to experience how to manage their emotions. All those, it's still also part of multitasking. You're not just going from lecture room, you go to cafeteria to eat, then you go back to read. It's not just, life is more than that, honestly speaking. That is part of socializing with other students, know how they see things, see things behind their ears, see how they view life in totality, not just I want to be a doctor. The only thing I know, majority of them was just to be a doctor. We never thought, how many of us knows our economics, finances, how to manage our resources, how to invest. But you can say average students, they talk among themselves. Some already have property even as a student. So those are the things and they are all part of multitasking. You also read book, improve yourself beyond this medical thing. You read book about estate management, read book about finance, read book about politics, economy, all those things that will make an individual a whole being, not just a medical being, a whole being. Because honestly speaking, now that I'm just beginning to say, I still remember when I just started my residency. In fact, they asked me that, they were begging people now, as usual, female, they were begging who want to become the VP of the ALD. Nobody declared interest. And I was just, in fact, they asked me, I said, no, I'm just here to read and do my research. I'm not here to. In retrospect, because there were certain things that happened that time that if I had been in that position, maybe it wouldn't have happened. So we should be flexible. Part of multitasking, being flexible, take up role. Don't think you cannot take that role. You have the intelligence, we have the capability, we have the capacity to take up roles. Apart from our medical role of training to become a doctor, then servicing your patient. Of course, you are going to do that commendably well, but take up other roles. We have the capacity to take up political position, to know how to bargain for things. Not that when things now happen, that's where we now having this boy brigade attitude. See what is happening between us and the non-other medical professional. We should be able to bargain ourselves out of most of all these dilemmas we have. If you have really been multitasking in form of social relationship, in form of anticipating problem, bankers anticipating problem, lawyers, they are very good at that. They anticipate problem. They know, so most of those problems don't catch them unawares. So in summary, I still want to emphasize that multitasking is both formal and informal. We are already used to it, but we need to earn more on that skill. We really need to be conscious in developing that skill for our own personal use, goods, and also for us to impact our generation as a whole. Thank you very much. I think that's all what I have for today. I think I will leave the floor for Amaka.
Thank you very much, Taiwo. That's been very, very helpful and encouraging. And it's good to hear of people who are currently doing it, like the medical students you mentioned, making good use of that opportunity. We have two questions. One is from Basi. His question reads, please, Ma, what do you do when multitasking becomes a negative stressor along the line?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Sorry, I missed that point. Multitasking could be positive and negative. The negative, actually part of the negative aspect is this, when it becomes a stressor. That's why I talk about being excited, being deliberately excited. This multitasking thing I'm talking about, it's not that somebody push it to you. You are the one taking it up. So when you are the one that take up that multitasking role, it will not be a stress because you already have your plan. You have your laid down plan how you want to achieve it. And so it will not be a stress for you then. But I know that our capacity are different. We have capacity to multitask. Some might be able to multitask at level of 6 projects at a time. Some might be able to multitask just at level of 2. So you need to look inward, know your capacity. If you know your multitasking can only take you on 2 projects, then you can always go for that. But I believe you that if you continue and you are persistent, you will realize that you will improve on that capacity. Multitask is something that is natural. It's just that you need to improve on that skill to take it to a higher level. And you are in your house, you are sweeping your floor, and you are at the same time cooking. You are multitasking. You are in your house, you are reading for your next exam, and you are also cooking whatever you are cooking. It's part of multitasking. So we should not see it in the negative way. Just like a bottle, you can say this bottle is half filled or half empty. I know there might be some people with some health challenges that I might not make them to multitask to that level. But if you know it's becoming a stress, maybe you can reduce the number of projects you are doing per time. But I want to believe that if you continue, you are persistent on it, you realize that you improve that skill and will be for your overall goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Taiwo. Now, the last question, and we also have a compliment as well. So thanks for the awesome presentation. Please, is there a point when multitasking becomes too much to disrupt other tasks? And the compliment was from Dr. Badru Yoshikumaya. Practical words. Well done, Dr. Taiwo.
Well, Badru, Dr. Badru, how are you? When multitasking, like I said, you have to look inward, know your capacity, and also know your health status. Where are you standing in health-wise? That then it could be too much, especially if you are under a board that is giving. You realize, because they said there's an idea that if you want something done, give it to a busy person. That if you want something done quickly, give it to somebody that is actively busy. You realize that person will. So if you're under a board that know that you are good at multitasking and it's giving you more than you can chew at a point in time, you might need to discuss the situation with that person in a polite, professional way. And you might also, like I said, multitasking is shifting from one project to another. You might not organize, prioritize those projects. Which one? Like I was using the example, I have a lecture note to write, I have a dissertation to read, and I have what other thing? Maybe I have to go and pick my children from school, or they are half day, they are open day, I need to buy something. You know, you have to prioritize which one is the most important, which one is the first that I need to. Then you now prioritize, take it a little bit slower, and then achieve them at the level of urgency or the level of importance on the list. Of course, you want to multitask, but you don't want to do it at the detriment of your health, because health is wealth. It's when you are healthy and you are alive that you can multitask. Thank you. Hello?
Thank you very much, Taiwo. That's been very,
welcome.
very helpful. And we also have another compliment as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Taiwo. That was enlightening. That's from Okubasi. I believe he asked the first question. So I'm just going to do like a brief overview of how we can multitask and compartmentalize. So it's going to be a slide presentation, just a couple of slides. I'm going to start to share my screen. So before I start, I'm Lade Abuah. I'm child and adolescent psychiatrist. I'm based in the northeast of England. My journey hasn't been a very straightforward one. I finished in 2005. I'm the 2005 set, as you know. And then I had my housemanship in General Hospital Ijayi in Abuah, then housemanship, same Abuah. I was initially posted to Abuah, but I transferred back to Abuah. I had it at Stella Basunjo Children's Home. Then I worked in a private hospital in Nigeria for about 6 years, I believe, before leaving. I did primaries in pediatrics, but unfortunately I couldn't get residency post. And I got to the UK, I did 1 year geriatrics and then 6 years psychiatry, then subspecializing in child and adolescent psychiatry. And so I'm just going to just briefly cover this topic. If we have any questions, again, please put them in the chat and I'll see to them afterwards. So, okay, so going on, we've had a lot from Taiwo. She's explained what multitasking looks like. We all know it's doing 2 or more things simultaneously at the same time. However, she said it comes natural to some people, particularly women, because as a girl child, over time, you start to, parents put a lot of pressure on girl children, giving a lot of tasks at the same time. The main thing about multitasking, and this is where it becomes a stressor, it's not just about doing 2 things at the same time, it's about doing things and attaining significant success in those tasks, getting the best outcome. This is what we want. It's not just, do this and do that. Okay, you're juggling so many things. So I'm going to use an acronym, ACHIEVE, to try to explain how we can go about this. So A is for awareness. We need to be very self-aware. We all have unique strengths, unique weaknesses. We have dispositions, we have timings, we have different times of the day that are best for us. Some of us are like night owls, some are like morning persons, some are like afternoon persons. You know your best times of the day. So identify them, and those are the times you should have your most important tasks. Now for students, that will obviously be reading. And even that, you will have to compartmentalize it into reading your clinical bits and then reading maybe for your electives like SEO or whatever elective you have at the lower times. And then there's the ebb times, which is your lower times. So those are the times to do the, less important activities. And also trying to refresh and rejuvenate ourselves, things like power naps, maybe brief walks, but picking out what works for you as an individual is what's best. So key, know yourself really well. And also with the questions that had come in as well, you need to know your stress level. You need to know when you need to stop and say, hang on a minute, I've taken on too much. I need to take a step back. Compartmentalizing. I'm going to use an example here. As doctors, we are all actually trained to prioritize. So that's actually a way of multitasking. When we're in A&E, we look at the patients, we know which patients to attend to first, we know which needs to be seen immediately, which one can be seen a couple of minutes or hours later. So it's essential, as Taiwo also said, have an electronic diary. I cannot overemphasize this. Have a daily calendar and divide them. As a parent, as a doctor, as a family person, you need to have a diary. You need to know, compartmentalize them into work, family time, picking up the kids from school. And that really helps you stay on the ball. And as I said before, place the most important tasks, we call this the key result areas, in your best times, because if you need to read for exams, end of posting, or read for postgraduate exams, put those activities in your most productive times. And then, of course, the less important tasks can also fall into the ebb periods. And this is something that I do a lot. I plan my day the night before. Like, I just go through, what do I need? I just have a quick glance through my diary. What do I need to do tomorrow? Have I checked and made sure that this appointment, I can go ahead with it, or I need to cancel and tell the person? So it's usually always helps. And also this one is very, very important. As I said in when I was talking about awareness, we all have strengths and weaknesses. There's absolutely no doubt about it. When you know you need to get something done and there's somebody that's better at it, or somebody that will get it done in lesser time, it's good to outsource it. Just get somebody else to be junior brother or sister or family member, or even pay somebody if you can afford it. Then hunt, H. So this is a very, very important bit. As she was saying, like when offered the post of, they needed somebody for VP, for ARD, everybody's like, oh no, I have to read. But the truth is, there are people that have done this before us. There are people that have been VPs or presidents, held the posts, and still pass the exams. How did they do it? So to be successful, you need to hunt, go out there. What information is out there? I will say this, that for you to be successful at something, knowledge, applied knowledge makes a big difference. And if we're still not successful at it, it means there's something missing that we don't know yet. So being able to multitask and say, I need to have all this done, have that information right at the fingertips, that would help to do this. And then involve others. So this, as I said before, there are people who've done this before. So there are just a few things in the world that a few people haven't done. And if somebody's done it before and been successful at it, they will always lend a helping hand. And we all know, even as doctors, we can't work in isolation. We always work with a team. So it's always good, involve others. It makes our daily tasks and things we have to do a lot easier. And also emulate others. As I said, it's one thing to go and look for the information, ask for the information, ask what did they do, and not actually follow the footsteps. People have gone ahead. What did they do? Productive conversations, get the nitty-gritty of what they did, adopt their plan, suit yourself, and then make things work for you. Visualization. So this is something I'd said about the night before. When I'm thinking of the day, the following day, like I try to visualize and see what I need to do the following day, or the following week, and the various things I'll need to juggle. Would it be possible? Also, especially for exams and studying, for me, I found that visualizing, looking forward and having that picture of me, with that successful thing that I want, it encourages me and spurs me on. So I'm able to think, oh, this is what I need to do. I need to be doing this at the same time to be able to achieve this. Lastly, energize yourself. So a lot of the times we all have stressful lives, and it can get to the point where, things can become negative, or we can start to view all we have to do in a negative way. However, when we take time out to energize ourselves, inspire yourself, motivate yourself, as humans, it will get to a point where we'll just think this is all too much. But at those points, we need to look for ways to energize ourselves. Some people listen to music, some listen to inspiration material, some listen to books. Taiwo mentioned reading books as well. So create daily, specifically allocated time to replenish yourself. As I said, be aware, know yourself, what works for me. Is it reading? Is it listening to music? What is it? And be sure to use those buffers to cater for any rough times that you encounter. Lastly, so the key thing is realize time management is actually life management, and multitasking is a key element of life management. So we don't necessarily manage time, we manage ourselves to get the best out of what we need done in those tasks. So, and also somebody had mentioned that at some point in time, you can have too much going on. And Taiwo also mentioned this. She said, focus on the goal. Think, be single-minded. The most important task at this time is finishing my residency, having my family life happy, or having, having my MBCHB with a future plan for myself, and taking full responsibility. I always say this, that as a grown-up, as an adult, we have a lot within our hands and within our control. Others have done it, so I can also do it. It is within my power to do it. This is key. Taiwo also said it. Practice makes perfect. You're not going to get it the first day. You're not going to get it the second day. You're not going to, even in the first year, you juggle so much and you start to think, will this actually ever work? But practice. As you do it, you get better, and you get to know yourself better. You get to know your limits, and you get to know what works for you. So finally, it takes mastery to multitask and get the task satisfactorily completed. You can say, I want to cook, read, do everything at the same time. And you do everything, but in actual fact, you haven't got nothing done. You've just been going through the motions. What you've read hasn't sunk in, you've not absorbed anything. So it is a skill that we can all acquire, and we can, use for our daily lives to the best outcomes for ourselves and our families and loved ones. Okay, thank you very much. And that's the end. I'm going to see if we have any rooms for questions, or if people have anything they'll like to say. Okay. Hi, Jimmy G. It's been ages. Yes, I know. Okay, so he'll like to know, there's a question from Oko Basi. I'd like to know if you decided on psychiatry before leaving Nigeria. So when I was in Nigeria, it was pediatrics. When I did psychiatry, I loved psychiatry. Psychiatry was like my second choice. I really enjoyed it. However, I was like, I'm not going to do psychiatry in Nigeria with the way things are handled, but we're not going to talk about that. But a lot of things have changed. But I decided, okay, I love psychiatry, but at the back of my mind, it's just there. I'm going to go for pediatrics. But when I did pediatrics, I still had on psychiatry at the back of my mind. And then when I got here, yeah, I did geriatrics initially. I did medicine, and then I went back to psychiatry, which was second choice. However, it was also working with kids, which, which was similar to pediatrics for me. So yes, I'd always had, let's do 6 years private experience. So when I did my 6 years private experience, it was at Gold Coast Hospital. It was general practice. It was just family medicine. There wasn't any psychiatry. We had a few psychiatric cases, but yeah. Okay, so we do have a poll. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Okay, so we have a poll, which is very, very good. So it shows that we have 90% of the participants who do other things, which is very, very good. This was a lot of things that people overlooked during our time. And if you were able to do it, and those of us who didn't, look back and think, we could just have done it. So we have people who do social media, stage and drama, traveling, writing, or poetry, baking, and cooking. So I want to say this is really, really encouraging, and I want to encourage everybody who's doing other things to keep at it. You can do it. People have done it in the past, and you can achieve your dreams of becoming a doctor, but also having these other things, either for side income or as hobbies. As doctors, we need to have good hobbies that replenish and re-energize us. So, yep, I would encourage it. The person who hasn't, I would suggest maybe look for one or two things, something that you really enjoyed. They always say to make a passion into a profession, because that way you enjoy it. It's not really necessarily going through the motions of having a profession, but it's something you enjoy. So just think of something else you enjoy besides medicine and make it into a side profession, maybe for extra income or as a hobby to replenish yourself. So do we have any other questions, or is there anything else we'd all like to know? Taiwo, I don't know if you have any. Oh, sorry, somebody was going to say something. Did I interrupt someone? No.
No, not really, man.
Okay.
So I think I've just picked up a message from Basi there, who says, I'm sorry I didn't get to participate in the polls. However, he's got interest in politics. Well done. That's actually what we need. We need more doctor politicians, I think, who can influence things properly and at least change the landscape from the dire situation we've got right now. I was just going to mention that you can still send your questions later, even if you think about it afterwards, to our email address that I will put in the chat room the next minute. Also, you could send requests for mentorships and other questions, even personal ones, to that email address, and we'll try to link you up with people who would best place to answer those questions. So I'll leave you back to Dr. Lade and Dr. Taiwo now to continue the talk and maybe take more questions and answers from you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alaba. Taiwo, I don't know if you have anything else to add or say. Okay. Yeah, so we have the email address in the chat as well, as Dr. Alaba has said. Please send any further questions that you have, or request for mentorships to the email addresses.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Amaka, once again. Well, I think I really enjoyed this session and I look forward to other sessions. Well, this is by way, I just want a suggestion. Can this be open to other non-OAU medical students? That's a request. Hello?
Okay, so I think I'll leave that to the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could,
yeah.
yes, we
So
read you loud and clear. and in all honesty, that is a very valid and very brilliant suggestion. However, the whole point of starting this is for us to give back to our primary university, our school, to give back to the students who are in the same place we worked, to give access to things we didn't have access to back then to them now. So it will take a bit of discussion, and then we will come back to you with a conclusion whether the committee thinks it's a brilliant idea to extend it to other non-OAU students, or maybe have special sessions for the general populace and then one for OAU students. But these are all things to be discussed and finalized, and we will let you know in due time.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, let's consider it.
Absolutely.
The earlier we catch them, the better. I think for the collective good of humanity. I really enjoyed this opportunity, and I pray that this session will grow in leaps and bounds. It takes determination, little drops of water, even if you have not started multitasking in a more conscious way. Like I said, everybody does that, but you can be more conscious, deliberate about it. Veer out into an unknown zone, take up more responsibility, learn new skills, and I believe it will all be for our overall good. Thank you very much, all the listeners that have started with us from the beginning. And thank you once again for inviting me. I really had a cool time here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking, Taiwo. Yeah, it was great listening to you, and you gave quite a number of examples as well, which helps with the day-to-day life. I think, okay, someone asked a question about my current hustle and how I am able to multitask. Well, so I have my hands in a lot of pies, and if I'm going to talk about them, it would take a long time. But what I generally do, so I have medicine and I have businesses and I do podcasts. So those are the three things I do. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I will bring the session to a close. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope it has been very helpful, and we will be able to take some things away to use in our practical lives and benefit. And I will hand over to Dr. Alaba now to end the talk.
Thank you, Maxi. Yeah. Lade, thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. It's been another lovely session.